The sound of the door. You hear it first? The slow groan of iron, stone scraping against stone. The bar drops. The echo lingers in the dark. The sound is final. You are in Ctesiphon, capital of the Sasanian Empire, in the 5th century AD. And that sound, that heavy, echoing thud, is the beginning of the answer to one of the Empire's most terrible secrets. Why Persian princesses feared their wedding night. It wasn't the groom they feared. It was what came after. The silence, the waiting, and the possibility of erasure. Tonight's ceremony will not end with celebration. It will end in judgment. Welcome to the hidden world of Kuda, the royal blood marriage, a ritual that turned purity into policy and love into law. 1. The Chamber of Waiting. Inside the chamber, the air is thick, heavy with myrrh, lamp oil, and the stillness of fear. A young princess sits motionless on silks embroidered with gold thread. Her title is heavier than her body. Her hands tremble beneath the weight of jewelry she did not choose. In her palm, she hides a small turquoise amulet, her last private possession, a smooth stone from a childhood river. She waits not for a stranger, but for a man of her own blood, a brother, a cousin, an uncle. This is Kuda, the next of kin marriage, the royal system designed to preserve divine bloodlines. But the ritual is not love. It is surveillance. The marriage bed is the state's microscope. 2. The silence as power. The groom enters, silent, dutiful, mechanical. He is not the power here. The real authority watches unseen. The magi, priests of fire and purity. Their silence is the true act. They observe, they record, they judge not passion but compliance. The chamber is sealed with wax, a priestly sigil pressed by iron. It is not locked to protect privacy. It is locked to ensure obedience. 3. The morning of the Magi. Dawn is pale and merciless. 2 gray-robed figures appear, the keepers of the rite. They do not speak her name, they call her only vessel. Her silk robes are removed, replaced with plain linen. Barefoot, she is led away from the opulence of the royal wing, down stone corridors that smell of dust, herbs, and age. This is the descent, the second stage of Kuda, where ceremony becomes interrogation and purity becomes punishment. 4. The corridor of doors. The corridor stretches into darkness. On either side, heavy wooden doors, each sealed with wax. Behind one, silence. Behind another, faint weeping. No one speaks of these rooms, no records name their occupants, but every princess knows of them, and every bride fears she will join them. They stop at the final door. The wax seal breaks with a small, sharp snap. Inside is a stone basin and a single torch. This is not a dungeon. It is an altar of obedience. 5. The purification. The magus steps forward, his voice flat and rehearsed, the sound of bureaucracy cloaked in faith. You have been joined to the divine blood. Now you must become its vessel. Renounce your name. Renounce your loyalties. Speak the words. Accept the blessing. Her silence is her only weapon. In her palm, the turquoise amulet burns cold. The priest extends his hand, waiting for her to drop it into the basin, the act that will complete her submission. She does not move. She whispers instead, "The stone is not the impurity." The magus frowns. This was not part of the ritual. 6. The breaking process. Her refusal is logged as defiance. The pressure begins. First, the light is taken, then the warmth. Her food ration cut in half, then half again. Days blur into weeks. The chamber grows colder, quieter. Her body weakens, but her mind becomes sharper. The court thought they had trained her for obedience. In truth, they had trained her for endurance. Every ceremony, every posture, every moment of forced silence was now her armor. The priests had built the cage. They had also built the strength to survive it. 7. The second descent. One night, the bar scrapes again, but the sound is different. Lighter, drier. She is led deeper. Past archives, treasuries, and tombs, the air smells of saltpeter and damp earth. They stop before a low archway. Carved into the basalt lintel is a small circle, and within it, a simple stylized eye. She recognizes it instantly. It is the same shape as the amulet in her palm. Someone has been here before. Someone left this mark, a message across generations. I see you. She presses the turquoise stone against the carving. A silent rite. A transmission of memory. 8. The archive below. Beyond the door is not a tomb, but an office. A single lamp burns. A scribe sits behind a desk surrounded by clay tablets and sealed tags. He is not a priest, he is an administrator. He records purification, marriage, death, and erasure. The magus dictates, the scribe writes, no emotion, no hesitation. Her name, lineage, and dowry are already listed. All that remains is to Mark her as void. A stylus scratches into wet clay. The word is pressed, then fired in a low kiln. Her non-existence is made permanent. She is not executed, she is deleted. 9. The official erasure above ground. The true ritual begins. The act of forgetting. Her name is removed from the royal genealogy scrolls. The ink that would have written it is simply withheld. A blank space remains, her dowry reabsorbed, her lands reassigned, her rooms redecorated for another bride. In the palace ledgers, she becomes a clerical correction, a life balanced to zero. The Sasanian system required perfection, not through murder but through paperwork. It didn't need to destroy the body. It only needed to erase the record. 10. The stone remembers. Centuries later, archaeologists at Takht-e Soliman found ritual basins, sealed chambers, and administrative tablets, layers of sacred and bureaucratic architecture intertwined, each one a testament to this cold, mechanical faith. They found marks carved into stone, eyes within circles, repeated symbols with no inscription, silent witnesses to women who refused to vanish. The turquoise amulet was buried with her, deep in the silent earth. But the stone walls still whisper, because even when the ink was withheld, the rock remembered. 11. The women who fought back. But not every princess accepted erasure. Some learned how to bend the ritual without breaking. In the hidden spaces of the palace, under stairwells, inside abandoned archives, behind the thick walls where whispers survived longer than ink, women shared coded lessons. A tilt of the head, a folded corner of a linen sheet, a strand of hair tied in a certain knot. These were their signals. Silent, subtle rebellions. A language that priests could not decode and scribes could not record. One bride pretended to faint during the sigil sealing, delaying the ceremony long enough for her dowry guardians to intervene. Another placed a counterfeit amulet in the basin, smooth river stone painted to mimic turquoise, a false surrender that fooled her judges and bought her time. Some even smuggled messages through palace laundresses, women who traveled freely between wings and carried rumors like invisible ink. The empire believed it controlled purity, but the women understood something deeper. You cannot purify a flame. You can only smother it, and even then it sometimes burns in secret. 12. The architects of silence. What the Magi never admitted is that the system depended entirely on cooperation. If even one link faltered, one scribe who hesitated, one guard who looked the other way, one princess who refused to drop the amulet, the whole structure shuddered. And it did. Clay tablets found cracked in their kilns, seals broken before they could be filed, missing genealogical entries that were lost before the archivist could erase them. Little fractures in the machinery of silence, proof that someone inside did not agree. Those cracks didn't topple the empire, but they weakened its spine, generation after generation, till the system that relied on fear was overtaken by forces that relied on belief. 13. The Last Bride of Ctesiphon. Persian chroniclers speak, quietly, cautiously, of one final bride during the empire's decline. Her name is lost, but her story isn't. When the Magi demanded her amulet, she did not refuse. She smashed it. A sharp crack across the basin, a sound louder than the door's iron bar, louder than the scribe's stylus, louder than the empire's laws. The priests were stunned. The scribe hesitated. And for the first time in recorded Sasanian ritual, no mark of erasure was pressed into clay. Historians still debate what happened next. Some say she vanished among refugees. Others believe she was protected by dissenting nobles. But most agree on one thing. Her act of defiance echoed through the corridors long after the empire fell, because some stones do not wait for memory. They break the silence themselves. The price of purity. The fear of the wedding night was never about the groom. It was the fear of being judged, found inconvenient, and reduced to silence. A royal marriage was not a promise, it was a trial. And the verdict was written not in blood, but in clay. Every erased name left a blank space in history, and every blank space is a scar. The Persians believed purity could preserve an empire, but every erased voice carved another fracture in its foundations. If this story unsettled you, if it made you see the cost of silence and obedience, like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another hidden history buried beneath the stone. Tell us in the comments, do you think forgetting is worse than death? Because empires can burn, but erasure lasts forever.